Hi, I wanted to share a little bit about my background. Because I'm new to this industry, this is my first project. So you may be wondering, who am I and where did I come from? Well, I have been a corporate marketing director for a large health insurance company for the past 13 years. That position ended, it's almost been a year, and it's crazy because I still dream about it. So maybe on some level I'm still finishing things up there, or I was just really strongly identified with that part of myself. But I feel very comfortable and confident in the role that I have, in part because of that position. I had the opportunity to create videos, print materials, advertising, to think big picture, strategically create marketing plans. And, I know that those are skills and knowledge and, the technical nitty-gritties, the mistakes that I've made over my career can really help me in creating your content and deliverables and telling your story. So happy to say that, that's behind me now. Prior to that, I did try to go out on my own, and I had some degree of success as a freelance communications person, but I had some difficulties because my real dream when I did that was to be a speaker. And this was, you got to rewind back to the day before video was really affordable. This was pre-YouTube. And so I had 3 small children, and it was, that was not working out for me to be able to create that vision for myself. So, I competed a lot in speaking competitions with Toastmasters, and I really loved it and learned a lot. So hopefully I'll be able to bring forward some of that desire and passion and use it in my storytelling business that I have right now, this new venture. Prior to that, I worked a lot of different jobs. I worked for a utility. I almost forgot the time I spent in the .com arena. And again, we're going to rewind back to the 90s. And this wasn't Silicon Valley. This was just Columbia, South Carolina. That was probably one of the best parts of my career, because I loved the technology and I loved being around the energy and the people that were kind of really pushing things forward in the internet world. But then we kind of hit a bubble, and that was a tough time to be in technology. But it was very fast. It was very free, and that was probably the place where I felt like my creativity was the most free and appreciated. So that definitely was a good experience. And then if you dive deeper back in, it was a number of different jobs. I worked for a nonprofit. I kind of bounced around a lot in different marketing roles. A saw chain company, believe it or not. My very first job, I have a degree in advertising from the University of Florida. And I remember coming out of school and getting my first real ad agency job. And they paid me $5 an hour, which at the time was minimum wage. And that was just such a wake-up call. At the time, I was working for an agency in downtown Pittsburgh, and parking in Pittsburgh was $30 a day. And if I bought lunch and parked my car after taxes, my entire, 8 hours of work would be gone. So I had to bus into the city and then bus back, and I had to work a second job. I waited at this was back in the I wasn't quite a disco, but it was a club. That's where I made my real money to pay rent with my 2 roommates that I shared this little condo with. And that's really how I got started. It's been a journey all along the way that I was on my career professional path. I always was dabbling in art in one way or another. I wrote a children's book and self-published that. You know, it's really been about story for me, storytelling, writing, speaking, and then the art part of it that's when I really tapped into I guess the emotional side without even knowing I was doing it, because it was really therapy for me when I went through my divorce, and it got me through. I mean, it really got me through, and you know, at that point I was just spraying color on paper and textures and, you know, really messy stamping stuff. And, you know, I didn't even call myself an artist. I called myself a surface designer, because I actually took my work into a gallery at one point, and the owner informed me that my work was not art. It was decorative. So, you know, I said, okay, you know, I still love it. I still have fun with it. And from there is when I picked up a macro lens and started photographing my art, that things kind of transformed for me. And, you know, I made an effort to learn Photoshop and Illustrator. And then it was first difficult, but it got easier over time, and I was kind of motivated by what I saw in the camera to keep pursuing those skills, because I knew that you could do a lot of cool things in the computer with your art. So I'm happy to say that, you know, I've really invested the past year of my life. I've taken a course called Ignite, where I've immersed myself with you know, a wonderful art teacher, and just absorbed everything she had to give me on the area of, you know, how to work with artists, how to lead artists, how to express my own art in its own way. So that has really helped me grow and understand what it means to be an artist. I've also continued to develop my technical skills, my video editing skills, even getting into a little bit of special effects. So every day I try to push myself to keep growing. I do my own website now. How cool is that? So I feel like I'm in the right place right now. I have a lot to share with you, and, you know, I want to be around creative people. I mean, there's nothing that feels better to me than being inspired by their work, and having that freedom to collaborate and to play and to say, all right, what is this really about? And, you know, how do we tell this story? And you know, seeing the greatness and reflecting it back, because I think that's it sometimes. I think a lot of artists just don't recognize what they do that is so special and unique, and you know, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to mirror that back and then execute it using these tools that are really going to be important for communicating today and as the world continues to shift and change. So